Clones are one of the most iconic characters in Star Wars ever, and thanks to that, clones can be very lucrative when investing. And today we're going to talk about the best clones to invest in to make a profit. Welcome back to another video, everyone. As the intro suggested, today I'm going to tell you about the best clones to invest in right now, at least according to me, and I promise you there are a few surprises on this list. And as always, I'm not a financial advisor, these are just my opinions on the market, but without further ado, here are some clones that I think are great investments. Clone Trooper 332nd Company, a beloved trooper that came out back in 2020 alongside the Armored Assault Tank. As we all know, this particular trooper is seen in the Clone Wars Season 7, and even though it was only seen for 4 episodes, it became extremely popular and very desirable among fans. But as stated earlier, this figure only featured in one set and therefore was quite hard to get a hold of in bigger quantities. That has led to this minifigure having a relatively small supply and a quite high price compared to the set it came with. And I believe that this will continue to push up the price of this very detailed and well-made minifigure in the coming years. And next up is Clone Trooper from the 187th Legion, or SW1207. This minifigure design is excellent and one of my personal favorites. A very well-made and detailed trooper with vibrant purple accents. This figure came in the 2022 Republic Fighter Tank in a pair of 2, and upon release this set was quite hard to find and still is hard to get in big quantities, since LEGO only allows you to buy 2 per person. This set has been rumored to retire at the end of the year, and I believe that this trooper will be extremely sought after, since he will probably not be in another set. And since this set is very hard to get a hold of and new people are coming into the scene, army builders and collectors alike will want this minifigure. And for those reasons, I believe that this minifigure is a solid investment that will continue to go up in price as time goes on. And next up we have Commander Wolf Phase 1, SW0330. He's one of the greats when it comes to naming clones. As the leader of the Wolf Pack, he was introduced and fleshed out during the Clone Wars TV show, and his LEGO Star Wars figure came out in only one set, being the Republic Frigate back in 2011. And even though this figure is 12 years old at this point, I believe that as far as Phase 1 clones go, he still holds up really well. The helmet and head are unique to this figure, while the torso and legs only come with him and the other trooper in the same set, which makes those parts basically unique as well. But with the set being very expensive when it came out, clocking in at $120 back in 2011, it was never cheap to get him, and that has made this figure very desirable and not very easy to get a hold of, which shows as he is still increasing in price at a very solid rate. He is an excellent minifigure design-wise, and I have no doubts he will continue to climb in price as time moves on. And next up we have Phase 2 Captain Rex, or SW0450. The most iconic clone possibly ever made. This minifigure is quite expensive and he's rumored to get a remake in 2023, but so far that is all it is. Rumors. And even if he gets a remake, I believe that he is just so popular that it won't really matter. He is an incredibly detailed minifigure despite his age. He featured in one set, being the Bark Speeder with sidecar from 2013 alongside Obi-Wan Kenobi and 2 commando droids. And something quite remarkable about this Captain Rex is that he sells for almost 10 times the set's retail value, which is absolutely insane. This minifigure is basically perfect in every aspect. I have zero complaints with it, so I see basically no risk in investing in this version of Captain Rex. Despite the fact that he's quite old, he is a perfect minifigure design-wise, and there's no downsides to investing in this minifigure. And next up on the list we have the Phase 2 Wolfpack Trooper, or SW0537. This is the only Phase 2 version we have ever gotten of any clone from this battalion. You got this clone from the Republic AV7 anti-vehicle cannon set from back in 2014, and you actually got 2 troopers with this set. And since this set retailed for $40, this is one of the strongest sets in terms of return in the last decade. But the trooper in question is highly detailed and very desirable, as Phase 2 troopers often are, featuring a detailed helmet print as well as a unique leg and torso print. This minifigure is incredibly well made, and I wouldn't expect LEGO to remake them, since there are many more popular clone battalions that would probably sell better if they remade them. And considering all the detail that goes in on the Wolfpack troopers, I also think that other clones will be easier to make. But a solid trooper that I expect will continue to climb in price during the coming years. And next up is the Phase 1 version of the Commander Fox minifigure, or SW0202. This minifigure is one of the oldest ones on this list. There has only ever been one version of Commander Fox to ever release, and it's this Phase 1 version of him. He features a very distinct dark red accent as well as a visor and armor pieces. He came in one set all the way back in 2008, and that set was of course the Separatist Spider Droid set. That set was only on shelves for just over a year, and combined with the fact that this minifigure is 15 years old, getting a hold of a new one is incredibly rare and will only continue to become even more rare as time goes on. A very well made minifigure that is slowly becoming a collector's item. And next up we have the 501st Legion Clone Trooper, or SW1094. Earlier we mentioned the captain of the 501st Legion, and next up here we have this trooper from the same battalion. This great minifigure just retired and is currently very cheap to pick up. And while the supply of this minifigure is incredibly high because of the popularity of the set he came in, the demand is also incredibly high for these figures. The amount of people who collect this minifigure is crazy, and therefore the supply and demand will almost cancel each other out. He of course came in the 501st Battle Pack from 2020, as well as a magazine gift with purchase. And if we compare this minifigure with another battle pack from a very popular legion, we have the Europower Troopers set from 2014 that had 4 members of the 212th, whereas 2 were regular troopers comparable to the 501st mentioned here. And those troopers currently sell for around $20 each, and I'm not saying that this trooper will suddenly shoot up to $20 in a year, but we can definitely expect them to increase in price as time goes on. And next up we have Phase 1 Captain Rex, or SW0314. What should I say? Basically all the points that apply to the Phase 2 Rex also applies to this one. As far as Phase 1 figs go, there aren't much better ones than this, and he has basically become a collector's item at this point. First released back in 2011 in the Battle of Geonosis set, this version of Rex has since continued to climb in price steadily. Featuring that iconic blue helmet and armor along with the classic rangefinder, he is a quite well-made minifigure with quite a lot of good details. As I said, this Rex has basically all the strengths of the Phase 2 one, and is in my book a super strong investment. And next up we have a Phase 2 Commander Gree, or SW1003. Commander Gree was one of those clones seen with Yoda during Order 66 in episode 3. I absolutely love the look of this minifigure myself, and I actually think he's one of the better looking ones on this list. He came in only one set, being the 2019 80 AP Walker, and has since his release with that set only continued to climb in price as a minifigure. He has the same torso and helmet as the previous Gree that came out during 2014, but the 2019 version has a unique leg print as well. This Commander Gree is a very well made minifigure, comes in only one $60 set, and it's also a very recognizable clone. The fact that we had 2 during the span of only 5 years tells me that LEGO won't be in a hurry to make another one, and therefore I believe that this minifigure is quite safe to pick up as an investment. And last but certainly not least, we have Phase 2 Commander Cody, or SW1233. I have chosen to feature the Phase 2 version of the Commander Cody that came out with the 2022 ATTE Walker. Despite him coming in a $140 set, he is relatively cheap at around $20. And while this isn't the most accurate depiction of him, for example, the helmet isn't 10 out of 10 in my eyes, and some arm printing would have been nice on this figure, he isn't all that bad. And I can almost guarantee that a figure as popular as a Phase 2 Cody will not stay at $20 after retirement. We should definitely not expect him to do as the Phase 2 Rex did and soar to $200, but I do expect him to definitely crawl up towards that $50 plus price mark after a few years. So in short, a very good minifigure that will most likely only climb as time moves on. So that was my list of the top 10 best clones to invest in right now. When I made this list I had a hard time making my mind up on what clones to include, but I believe I got a pretty good and varied list with some good tips for you guys to hopefully make a good investment. But that is all for now. If you like this video and want to see more, please like, subscribe and comment as well, and I will see you all next time.